This week's episode is once again sponsored by Stadium Media. We've got the NFL draft coming up on Thursday. Round 1 starts. This draft, I feel like, has been this is the least clear-cut top 5, top 10 I've seen in a long time in terms of draft. Like, you have people when the offseason began saying Shedeur Sanders was a clear-cut 1 through 3 pick, but now some people don't even have him in the first round. So what are your guys' thoughts leading up to the NFL draft? What do you see happening in the first 5 picks of this draft?
So I wonder why Shedeur Sanders is under so much scrutiny. I get all the criticisms he has, but at the same time, like, people freak out over every little thing. Like, there was a 30-minute segment on Pat McAfee because he pats the ball before he throws it. Yeah, it's like, so does Tom Brady.
That tweet was ridiculous. That safety that was like, you pat that ball, it's a tell. It's like, well, first, other quarterbacks pat the ball. Second, if you're in a game and a quarterback pats a ball less than half a second before he launches it, how are you honestly going to be able to react to that? You got to be reading the eyes the whole time. You have to be reading the formation. Like, saying that you can intercept a quarterback because he pats the ball and then launches it I think it's a little silly.
Find me an NFL scout that has a perfect resume for scouting players. Mm-hmm. We'll be searching for the rest of our lives. There's so many people going into the draft where there's talent that people say is just next level. I mean, we're talking changing the league level, and it just doesn't pan out. And so you see it on the flip side too. You see Puka Nacua falling to the fifth round. Yeah. And being a arguably top 5 receiver going into this next season. Yeah. So we don't know. We can only speculate. And so for a player like Shedeur Sanders, at this point with the draft happening in the next week or two, I mean, a lot of it is just clickbait. I see it as just like getting people talking about the draft. It's all just feeding the fuel. I would not be shocked to see him go top 3. I would not be shocked to see him go 20th overall or 21st to the Steelers, right? So at the end of the day, like, the teams know way better than ESPN, than any other sports news.
All these talking heads, they just want to.
He's a polarizing figure, is what it is.
For sure.
And he's somebody that you can make money by talking about. And his dad, obviously, prime time, dude showboats. And that's the thing, I don't dislike when people showboat. Like, on the field, if you play with swagger and you're confident, and off the field you're confident, to me that's not a problem. And I think that's a big thing is he's very cocky. His interviews, he's like, if you're the team that drafts me, you better be wanting to have a culture change. You better be wanting. It's that to me is dude, guy cares. He's passionate. I want to see that passion from somebody who gets drafted to the Cleveland Browns, the same as I want to see that passion from somebody who gets drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. So I don't think it's a bad thing at all. And to your point, Spencer, Tom Brady was a 5th round pick. Josh Rosen was number 1 over?
He's a 3rd overall pick.
3rd overall pick. Look at that. Draft position rarely, you have some gyms, Andrew Luck was great, one of the greatest quarterback prospects of all time. Same with Cam Newton, and they panned out and they were amazing. But then you also have guys that were who's the guy that got drafted Peyton Manning's year, number 2 overall? It was him versus Manning. That was the talk. Who's going to go 1 overall? Who's going to go 2 overall? That guy was so touted as a prospect, and he just didn't pan out. So sometimes it just doesn't work out. And then you have these later round guys that can make a jump, and it's just, we won't know until they get into the league, and then the game speeds up for them, and then they have to adapt, and they have to work with a new coaching staff, a new playbook. They have to learn a new system. There's so much that goes into it rather than just pure, raw ability and talent. So
it was Ryan Leaf out of Washington State.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wait, so let's talk about Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, because they've been in the news recently, and I want y'all's opinion on this. They had their numbers retired at the spring game this past weekend, I believe.
Yeah.
I just want initial thoughts.
Ridiculous.
Good, bad.
It's ridiculous, bro.
Okay, so I can see where Colorado's coming from. They really did. I mean, that franchise they'll always look at Colorado as differently because of how they've been able to compete. But there's better players that have played throughout college football that deserve their number to be retired before these two guys.
Yeah.
There's a lot of market precedence because Deion Sanders is the head coach. So it's a good PR move. People are talking about it, but
yeah, I mean, they made Colorado relevant again, but not because they were suddenly dominating college. You know what I mean? Like, they were relevant because they were polarizing because media followed them. But like when Tim Tebow went to the Gators in 2008 was his big run, like he went there and they started dominating. And that's when people started talking about the Florida Gators. People are talking about, like, do you remember 2023 season when they like started really hot? They were undefeated for the first 3 or 4 games or whatever. And then they go and they play Oregon, and Oregon just bends them over the table, has their way with them, slaughtered them. And then like they were still popular, but because the media was like, well, these guys are talking so much smack. And then kind of similar this year, they're still talking and they're still, expectations I feel like are pretty high for them, and they don't have like a bad season. They make a bowl game, they get beat by the Cougars, but they don't have a bad season. But that's what it is to me, is two guys. Obviously Travis Hunter won Heisman this year, which polarizing Heisman, but you can't deny the fact that he's the best athlete in this draft.
He's elite.
He's awesome. But like you have two guys who go and they play good. Like they play really well, but they don't dominate. And all of a sudden their jerseys are getting retired after no bowl game victories, after a 13-12 record, no playoff appearances. Like that is the least dominating retirement of a jersey I've ever seen. I think it's ridiculous.
Travis Hunter won a Heisman.
Yeah.
He played both sides of the football. He changed college football. He didn't change college football. He's going to. More guys are coming out as athletes. They're going to want to play both ways.
There's a kid named Nate Johnson. He was recruited as a four-star quarterback to the University of Utah. Didn't really pan out. Went to, I believe, Villanova, and he's actually back this year, but he's not playing. He's not back at the Utah as a quarterback. He's back as an athlete. Does he play receiver corner? I don't think so. He'll be the Swiss Army knife, but I think the term athlete is going to be coined more and more and more.
Yeah.
And I think he did do that.
But
I will say that.
But that's a good argument for Travis Hunter. What about Shedeur Sanders? What has he done? He was 8th in Heisman voting.
Yeah.
What has he done? He might not even be a top 10 draft pick. What has he done to deserve his jersey being retired?
No, he was daddy's boy. That's
exactly.
What he did. Why the real question is why they're retiring Shiloh's number as well, because
what?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. That would be
insane. At that point, you're like, okay, yeah, we see what's going on here.
I mean, I can see the argument for Travis Hunter. There have been better Heisman players that have not had their jerseys retired, but I can see the argument. I can't see any argument you can make about Shedeur Sanders getting his jersey number retired after doing nothing for 2 years.
Yeah, well, I agree to a point, but you also think it's a smaller market program. They are Power 4, but they're not Alabama. They're not a Florida. They're not one of these big SEC Big Ten teams. Lamar Jackson, do you think he should have gotten his jersey retired?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
He's at a smaller market program. He won a Heisman. People, he's going to be a household name in Colorado households for the rest of time.
When did he have his jersey retired?
2 years, if not last year, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I was going to say
he dominated in the NFL,
4
won
years
2
ago.
MVPs, and then got his jersey retired.
That's where I think maybe these guys got to play some good NFL. Well,
yeah.
I might walk back on my words though, because you're retiring a player who played college football.
Well, let me ask you a question real quick. If Deion Sanders is not Shedeur Sanders' dad, if Shedeur Sanders is named Shedeur Smith, does he get his number retired?
No.
No, exactly.
Zach Wilson didn't.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't perform, had a lot of numbers, got drafted really highly. He didn't, and so it's
now,
yeah.
Question, do you think if Shedeur Sanders is not related to Deion Sanders at all, goes into the NFL, wins the Super Bowl, wins an MVP, has a really good career, do you think Colorado retires his number? I don't think so, because he wasn't dominant in college.
Yeah.
So that's my thought.
And so on the flip side, you've got the player that comes to mind is actually college basketball, but Jimmer Fredette. Like, dude was dominant in college basketball, arguably one of the best college basketball players of all time.
Yeah.
Did not pan out in the NBA
Yeah.
whatsoever. Played a couple of years, bounced between some teams and has a legend in China for the Shanghai Sharks.
Yeah,
Let's
he
go.
is.
But averaging like 40 points a season for 3 seasons.
He was playing against a bunch of 5'9" guys.
Yeah. Well, he's not too tall himself, but yeah, to that extent, you got to separate the two sports or the two leagues a little bit. There's college football and there's the NFL. There's elite players in both. Does it always translate from one to the other? Not always. We should be retiring players based on their college performance, with some exception. I think Lamar Jackson's the exception because it was a small market team.
Yeah.
To your point.
Separation, like Michigan hasn't retired Brady's number.
Yeah.
So,
And if you don't think he's the greatest football player of all time, then you live under a rock.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, roundabout way of saying maybe Hunter deserved it. Because, like, you do win a Heisman in a small market school. That's impressive, especially doing it as a two-way player. I don't think you should have won the Blendikoff for the receiver reward.
I agree.
Award. That's besides the point.
Yeah.
There were, like, statistically better receivers. Besides the point, I can see the argument for Hunter getting his jersey retired. Shedeur Sanders is not even in conversation ever if his dad's not Deion Sanders.
Here's one last thing. The Colorado Buffaloes can do whatever the heck they want. So, like, to that argument, they can do that. That's fine. Like, they're a small market team. If they are now making a name for themselves, like, why not, right? It is pretty cool. The fans are loving these two guys. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not too upset over it.
This is what they want. They want us to talk about Colorado. But
Yeah.
Speaking of Travis Hunter, there are a lot of mock drafts that have him going, like, just to bring it back to the draft.
Yes.
I don't see him in Cleveland.
I see him in New England.
Okay.
I think it's silly if the
Travis
Patriots
Hunter?
don't do everything they can to get Travis Hunter. Because they just got Stephon Diggs, right? But they still, like, he's older. He's like 31, just towards ACL last season. Like, he could be a great mentor to a young receiver. Their secondary is not bad. They just signed, I think they just extended.
Well, they have
one
an
of their
awesome
corners.
corner.
They've got an
Christian
awesome corner.
Gonzalez, is that
Yeah,
his
yeah,
name?
that's
He's
like
like,
Christian
yeah,
Gonzalez.
yeah.
Why not add Travis Hunter?
Yeah.
Beef up that room. I mean, I think if you're New England and you don't go Travis Hunter, you got to go Abdul Carter. But, like,
need athletes.
Hopefully he's there.
well,
No, I agree with you. If he's
Yeah.
there, yeah, take him.
well,
and
the
they need
only
him.
way that one of them's not there is if New York takes Abdul. Anyway, we should actually let's do like top 5. What are your first 5 picks?
I'll start because I kind of have a hot take. I think the Giants do a trade swap with the Titans. I think I can see
Really?
that. I think if they can add enough value, you probably are throwing in a 3rd round pick to get that trade swap.
Well, I'll say this: did you see Cam Ward's Fortnite stream?
Oh, yeah.
crap!
When they were-
His
Yeah,
two
that
favorite
was-
running backs.
Two favorite running
Who are the
backs?
2 best running backs in the league?
And then like top 4 receiver, he said was like
Pollard.
Like Trayvon Burks or something.
So, and he also said Brian Callahan was his favorite NFL coach. I don't like. I can see where
I
you're
get
coming
it.
from.
I
I
get
think
it.
the Titans are locked in on Ward, bro.
Okay, well, let me finish.
Yeah.
Because I think it benefits the Titans more. I think the Titans, I think we need one more year with Will Levis. We saw some shining.
I love
I love him, dude. I would die for that man. We saw some shining moments last year. It's just about refining, and this is really the year. If he doesn't pan out this year, he'll be a backup for maybe 2-3 more years, and then he better have a good job lined up, right? I don't think you give up on that just yet because he
Really?
I think he had 3 games where he was a player. He balled out, and then game 4 he threw like 4 picks. So
Maybe you put him in a trade package to another team, but I don't see them rolling with Levis.
I think give it another
I think
year.
with a new coach, a new GM, they want to tie themselves into their jobs for longer. So I
that's
think
a
you
good
got to
point.
draft a new guy
That's a good
that
point.
keeps you in the position for at least 3 more years.
Yeah.
Where if you start sticking with the old guy, you have bad seasons, they're just going to kick you right back
If
out.
Callahan drafts Cam Ward, this is his 2nd year. He's tied to Cam Ward. Like his
He's got his
destiny
guy. Yeah.
is- So
That's
sorry.
That's a fair point. I'll double down and just say you can get a lot of value for
Yeah.
dropping back 2 picks and then getting another 3rd round pick or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'll double down just for the sake of talking about it. But you agree is a good point. I think they're going to want to start with their guy.
Yeah.
And try and develop him and build their team around him. So, that's my number 1 is the Giants trade up for Cam Ward. I've got to the Browns. I've got Travis Hunter. I think I mean, the guy can just play both sides of the field. Their quarterback situation is locked in with Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, they're going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, for
with
sure.
or without Travis Hunter.
I think they need a player like Travis Hunter to really spark something. I don't know, dude. Does Travis Hunter does he make bad quarterbacks good? Like that's been my whole thing is Shedeur Sanders doesn't have the arm power. I'm not loving that for his NFL prospect for that. Mm-hmm. But Travis Hunter makes him look so good. What if
True. He's a spectacular.
What if he's one of those players?
All
Number
right.
3, I've got. Is that what you wanted? Each of us go top 5.
You go top 5, and then
Okay. I'll be quick.
I don't want to interrupt you anymore.
Titans taking Abdul Carter at that point, no brainer. You can get him at first, or you can get him at 3rd, and then get a 3rd round pick.
They have a pretty decent edge rusher to pair with Abdul Carter, don't they?
I don't know.
Had 10.5 sacks or something. I forget his name. Sorry.
Starts with an O. Yeah, I know. I want to say yes, but Abdul Carter is just a guy. He's easily the best edge in the league or in the draft.
Yeah.
For the Patriots, I see them picking an offensive tackle. I think
Really?
you've got Drake May. I don't think their receiver room's that bad. Their depth chart right now. You've got your veteran in Stephon Diggs, but you've got Kendrick Bourne, Demario Douglas. These are just younger guys who are starting to make a name for themselves, who haven't had a competent quarterback. So I don't think they go receiver first round. I do think, and they've got Gonzalez at corner as a lock. I think they protect Drake May. And then lastly, I have the Jaguars. I don't really care. Jaguars could go.
They're going D-line, bro.
You think so? Mason Graham?
Mason Graham.
Yeah.
Really?
They didn't do anything for their D-line in free agency.
That's fair. And they don't have anybody.
No.
So there's my top 5.
You want to go next, or you want me to go next?
Yeah, I'll go.
I'll give my 6. It's Genty to the Raiders. How is that not? But
Okay.
Continue.
I think I mostly agree with you. I think Cam Ward's to Tennessee.
For sure.
I think the Browns. Like, I don't know if I see him taking Travis Hunter.
You don't see him at the Browns?
I don't know, but I think I could definitely see him going there.
Do you see it? Well, who do you see number 2 then? Abdul
I
Carter?
think Abdul Carter.
They pair him with
With
Myles
Myles
Garrett?
I mean, I think so.
That'd be a deadly combination.
It's not a bad idea.
Because they have Jerry Jeudy. I think there's a lot of wide receivers in this draft that you can kind of get in the later rounds.
I can agree with that.
And so I think if they want, just what is going to help us win at this moment, I think another edge rusher is going to be really helpful for them. So I think that they'll go Abdul Carter. I think the Giants will take Travis Hunter. Kind of set themselves up as kind of a bridge year, having Russell Wilson, having Jameis Winston. So then next year, I think they'll still be in a pretty good position in a top 15 pick where they can get a quarterback, which next year's draft will be a lot better.
Yeah. Okay.
I think the Patriots, I know they want guys, but I honestly think Will Campbell out of LSU at O-line, just to kind of help Drake May in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike Vrabel, he's a trenches guy.
Yeah.
So I think they'll go all O-line there.
okay.
The top 3 offensive tackles in this draft: Kelvin Banks Jr., Armando Membo, and who for
Basically,
LSU?
Will Campbell.
Will Campbell. Those 3 guys are all studs.
Yeah.
Great talent.
Yeah.
And then I think Jackson will go kind of the same route. I could see him going D-line, but I think you have your guy at quarterback. You're paying him an unbelievable amount of money.
Yeah.
He can't get hurt again. I think you go all-line again. I think you go Armand Membo.
Okay.
And then a couple sleepers that I love is Omarion Hampton out of North Carolina.
Yeah, dude.
I
Yes.
think he is going to be
He looks good.
awesome.
Get him to the Cowboys, bro.
Yeah.
I think he's going Cowboys.
So I like
think so
him.
too.
And then I like Mike Green, an edge rusher out of Marshall.
I like Mike Green too.
If the Falcons can't, we'll get to this later. They can't get Mikael Williams. I want
You guys
Mike
need an
Green.
edge rusher.
He had 17 sacks last year.
Jalen Walker.
Oh, 17 sacks.
17 sacks.
You like Jalen Walker out of Georgia?
I like
also-
Mikael Williams, but yeah, I do like Jalen Walker. That's kind of where I was.
All right.
Where I'm going.
Okay, I'm gonna go real quick. Number 1, Cam Ward, Tennessee Titans. Number 2, Shedeur Sanders to the Browns.
Really?
I don't think that the Browns, why would they not pick up Shedeur Sanders? He's got potential to be very good.
Yeah.
He's accurate. He's a good pocket passer.
His pocket
the
presence
Browns
is phenomenal.
Quarterback room is awful. They have Joe Flacco,
Flacco.
Kenny Pickett, and then
They still have Demarius Thompson Robinson.
Demarius Thompson.
Or,
DTR?
yeah, Dorian
DTR?
Thompson.
Dorian Thompson.
Awful. their quarterback room sucks.
Yeah.
I think you cut DTR in training camp, and I think that you have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett backing up Shedeur Sanders. I see Shedeur Sanders number 2 to the Browns.
Okay.
Feel sorry for him, but New York Giants at number 3, I think they're taking Travis Hunter. I think they've got a solid defensive line. I don't think they need Abdul Carter. They've got Thibodeau and is it Brian Burns?
Brian Burns and
So,
Thibodeau,
I mean, they've got a good line. I think they take Travis Hunter to back up Malik, and then also in their secondary, like as the Giants, like you need skill positions. You need a better secondary. You just re-signed or you just extended one of your corners. Why not pick up a guy who can do both?
I need to make a correction. DTR was in the Kenny Pickett trade. He's with the Eagles.
Oh, okay.
I know there's something that sounded off. I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah. So
but still, that they're terrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, go back to
New York Giants take Travis Hunter. New England Patriots. Oh, see, this is tough
it can get
because I actually have like a really hot take.
Jalen Milroe. No, just kidding.
No,
Tyler Warren
Ashton Genty.
to the Patriots.
Really?
It could, but
Get rid of Ramondre
in my
Stevenson?
in my mock draft, what's his face? Abdul Carter's still on the board. So I
wow.
don't know if they take him if Abdul Carter's still on the board.
Yeah, it's a good
Because
point.
they need a pass rush.
They could use an edge.
But I could see them taking Genty at the 4. So I'm going to say Genty or Abdul Carter. If I had to lean one way, it'd be Abdul Carter. And then Jacksonville, I actually like your thought about the O-line. We just watched Lawrence get brutalized last season.
He got murdered.
Yeah. He died on the field. So I can see them taking any of the 3 offensive line. And then real quick, because I am a Colts guy, I mean, we need Tyler Warren, bro. We need Tyler Warren.
Colson Loveland is also a first rounder though.
But he's not a top 14 pick.
6'6", yeah.
I think that if we don't take Tyler Warren, we take Jahad Campbell Jahad Campbell.
John Campbell out of Alabama.
Because our linebacker room, we didn't re-sign EJ Speed. He went to the Texans. Freaking traitor, piece of trash. Can't play coverage at all. Whatever.
He's trying to win a Super Bowl. That's
Didn't
why
like
I
him
left.
anyways. So I think we
the
take
Texans.
a linebacker at 14 if we don't get Tyler Warren. We have some mock drafts having us take like Will Campbell or an offensive lineman. We did just get rid of Ryan Kelly and one other. We sent both of them to the Vikings. Will Fries, I think we sent to the Vikings with Ryan Kelly.
Yep.
But like we have such a good young O-line. I don't really see the need to take an O-line right out the gate. We have other positions that are more important. Please, Tyler Warren, please be there at 14. You are my dream pick at 14. But did you want to talk about the Saints?
Yeah, I'll talk about my number 9 pick. It's fun that we all have our picks in the top 15. The top 15 is my favorite.
Yeah, it's fun. And then you have to watch them
love
play
how
during
bad
the
we
season.
are.
Yeah.
It's great, guys. We can bond over it. No, it's fun because the draft prospects, right? I've now pivoted. I start off by saying if Shedeur Sanders is available at 9, we take him. I'm to the point where we're not going to win a Super Bowl anytime soon. You had a great point to our salary situation is just atrocious.
Yeah, it's bad.
So to draft a quarterback and have him sit on that rookie contract for a while, that's a strategy that I think would dig us out of this pit. I also think I want to double down and just take an offensive lineman. Give me Kelvin Banks Jr. Or Membo is my number 2, but I like all 3 of those guys. It's not super sexy, but
you need it. Yeah.
Don't take a receiver. Please don't take a tight end. Let's rebuild this offensive line. We just had 2 guys retire in the last month or so. Yeah. So,
you know what you need to pick up in the draft? You need a new GM.
A new GM, yeah.
Get rid of Mickey Loomis, man. He's been there since 2002.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That's part of he's like the Jerry Jones that no one talks about.
Yeah.
He's not as old. He's not like an old senile man, but he's just been there for so long that people just assume that he knows what he's doing.
And he's the head of basketball ops for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
How do you do 2 full-time jobs?
Well, he does them both really poorly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. He secured a top 5 pick for the Pelicans this year, so good for him.
So
top 7.
That's the draft. Obviously, Thursday, we're super excited. Probably get together, watch it, take some videos of our reactions. Let's switch gears a little bit. because something else has happened in sports this week. NBA playoffs have started. My Pacers are playing right now. The Milwaukee Bucks. We're up in the second quarter, so very exciting. But what are your thoughts? Let's start with the play-in games.
Can I give a take about the play-in games?
Yes.
I hate the play-in games.
Why? They're so good.
No, okay. Best case scenario, you get a really good game.
Yeah.
Hawks Magic or Hawks Heat.
Yeah.
Right?
Warriors Grizzlies.
But then you only get one of them.
But who cares?
I don't know.
So wait, are you saying remove it or change it?
I'd change it.
No.
These teams that are playing, they would have already been in the playoffs.
Here's what I like about it. You have the option of competing for a championship, competing in playoffs as a 10th seed, but you also are like borderline. You have to make that decision. Do we push for that 10th seed, that play-in spot, or do we just try and tank and get a better draft lottery odds, right? Mm-hmm. I think it addresses the tanking situation a little bit better than what other leagues are doing.
I don't think it does.
My example was, I think it was 2 years ago. It was the Miami Heat. I think they were a 9th.
They were an 8th seed. They would have already been in the playoffs.
Well, there's my one example.
That's what I mean. If you're a 9 or a 10 seed, you're going to lose anyway. It allows
Not true.
It allows for these stupid
Miami
owners.
Heat 10 seed are in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They're not going to go very
But
far.
they're not going to go anywhere.
But they're still in the playoffs.
It allows for these owners, like the Hawks, to count this as a playoff appearance and to never do anything in free agency, to never do anything in the draft. And it's our third year in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But you're acting like people don't understand the context behind it. Everybody knows the context behind their playoff victory. What it allows for is a potential Cinderella story and good games. Like the Golden State Warriors Memphis game was awesome.
No,
dude.
I agree, but it allows for these owners to do nothing. We've been nothing but mediocrity for the past 10 years, 20 years.
No, owners don't do anything because they don't care about the fans, not because they don't know
true.
they suck.
But then they can hide behind these play-in appearances.
That's why
No, they
Ryan
can't
Smith
hide
is one of
behind it.
the best owners in the NBA because he genuinely cares about Utah. He loves the small market. I know this is when we were arguing, but I wanted to say something and raise my voice a little bit.
No.
And it felt kind of nice.
But
I think,
bro, you can't hide behind playing
It's
games when everyone knows that you have a losing record. Like, that's visible. The Miami Heat have a losing record. They're in the playoffs. Nobody's glossing over that. Their fans still don't like the direction the team's going in. All it allows is more playoff NBA.
at the end of the day, the NBA is a business. These franchises are businesses. And guess what? You make way more money if you play even one more game, if not two more games. More people are watching. It's just more basketball, right? That's all it is.
Yeah.
Do I love it? I don't hate it. You hate it, right?
I hate it.
You're like anti.
He's just mad his Hawks lost.
No, it's the same thing.
To the 10 seed. His Hawks lost. Bro, I think it's not that deep, man. It's just more basketball.
Scarcity creates competition.
If the Hawks were in the playoffs, the fans would not think any differently about the direction of the team than the fact that they lost to the 10 seed.
Disagree.
I don't, because it's still like you still need to get Trae Young help, right? Like you still know that. You still
boy
know
needs
you're
some defense,
holding on
man.
for dear life. It's just an opportunity to see your team play more basketball.
But as a player, if you know that you can sit a few extra games, you don't have to play as many nights, but you know you're going to make the playoffs, you take all of April completely off. March basketball in the NBA doesn't matter.
Yes, it does, bro. What are you talking about? This year, literally the difference between the 4 seed and the 8 seed in the West was like one game.
I'm talking for the teams that are not that are not championship contenders. I'm talking for these teams like the Bulls, like the Heat, like the Hawks.
The play-in teams.
The play-in
The
teams.
8 play-in teams.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It creates problems.
I don't know. Like I feel like you could make that argument and say that, you know, teams that have locked down the number 1 spot shouldn't sit their guys. Like it's not that big of a deal. It's just more basketball, bro.
No.
So, anyways, play-in
I'm a
tournament.
fan.
I'm a fan too.
I like
The
it.
games were awesome.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
I mean, playoff Jimmy, playoff Butler.
Oh
he
my
was
gosh.
full display. Him and
Yeah.
Steph together each had like more than 30. I know Jimmy had more than 30 points.
They both combined had
Yeah.
more than 30.
Steph Curry's so good at basketball.
Steph Curry's
Not
so
combined.
good at basketball, dude. He's so good at basketball. He's the greatest shooter
Yeah.
ever. So good at basketball.
He changed the game as much as Michael Jordan did and as much as LeBron James did. Those three guys.
And but did he change it for the worse, do you think?
No.
That's a conversation for another time.
Yeah,
that's not
a
his
conversation.
fault.
Yeah.
He pioneered it, though.
He found the crack. He found
He pioneered it. So
the chink in the armor.
I think if it's not for Steph Curry, we're not even talking about 4-point lines.
I do have a quick question about Curry.
What's up?
If he wins another one,
yes.
is he a top 3 player of all time?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I think he's the most clutch player I've ever seen in my life.
So do you think it's...
No, dude, LeBron.
No, dude.
You don't think LeBron's
Steph
more
is more
clutch?
clutch? Steph's more clutch than LeBron. I
Really?
think he's so clutch. In the fourth quarter, I don't want anybody taking that shot but Steph Curry.
Yeah, I agree.
Team USA,
That's
baby.
true. Team USA.
Team USA was
clutch.
There's no
insane.
doubt he was making that.
It'll bring
That's
tears
true.
to my eyes. If we go back to that moment watching that game against
Yeah, that's true.
France?
Yeah, it was France.
Yeah.
Dude, he carried Team USA.
Holy cow.
I think, he's definitely a top 3, especially if he gets another ring.
Of all time, you're saying?
Yeah.
Of all time, yeah.
I mean, he's best shooter, extremely clutch. His laundry list of awards is like longer than most any other player ever.
And he's a one jersey guy, which I love.
And he's a one jersey guy. And here's what goes unrecognized. His demeanor off the court is awesome.
Yeah.
He's like a role model for kids. Mm-hmm. He doesn't get political, LeBron James. He doesn't.
For real.
Like, no one cares about, right? Like, any hot take that you have politically. Just play basketball and be a good guy off the court.
You're saying shut up and dribble?
I'm saying shut up and dribble. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. I just think I love Steph Curry off the court. I'd want my kids to buy his jersey, and I don't love California teams, but Golden State Warriors, that might be my favorite California team in any sport.
California and Texas teams I don't like just across the board.
Yeah.
I think they're annoying. But I do like Steph Curry. I like Jimmy Butler. Golden State Warriors. They turned it around this season. Like, they really did. People were at the beginning like, they're over, they're done, they're washed.
Yep.
Trade for Jimmy Butler. All of a sudden you start winning a ton of games, and then it's awesome.
I would argue that I think this needs to mature a little bit before I really make this statement. But the two biggest trades are clearly the Luka AD trade, and then the Jimmy Butler trade.
Yeah.
To the Warriors.
True.
I think that one might be more impactful. We have to see how the Lakers play. Luka is arguably, it's clear cut. He's a better, younger player than Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. But
offensive, at least.
Offensively, yeah.
Well, I think that the Luka trade will be more impactful
long term
for the Mavs necessarily than it is for the Lakers. Like, the Mavs, they went to the finals last year and they lost in the play-in tournament this year.
Yeah.
Like, Luka is the only thing that was carrying them. Like, I think if you add AD and Luka's still on the team, you make a very deep run. But, like,
give me Kevin Durant to the Dallas Mavericks next year.
So I thought defense won championships.
Apparently it doesn't.
Okay, Nico.
Defense wins championships, but defense doesn't get you into the playoffs to win the championships. So
that's a great point.
I mean, I don't know how that guy is not freaking like hung on the stadium outside. You know what I mean? Not in a violent way. Just maybe give
Coliseum.
him. Sorry. Let me change that. You give him an atomic wedgie and put the underwear on the top, so he's like dangling from his undies. I think that he destroyed the Mavs. I mean, you were like a couple key players away because you had Kyrie, you had Luka, you had
you had a pretty young team too. You had
young team, Klay Thompson,
Derek Lively.
So if you add like a defensive player to that. Yeah, you could definitely be a contender. You were already a contender, but you gave away your future for a guy who's injured every other week. Like, I like AD. Like, I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's obviously, to a certain point, he has longevity. He's played for a long time. Sure. He's won championships. Sure. But, like, dude, he went out last night in the game with a knee injury. Defense doesn't win championships if you have a guy with brittle bones who's like sitting out. So I mean, anyways, not to go too deep into that, but you're already seeing firsthand the impact that the Luka trade had. Mavs missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. I'm not a Mavs fan, but I do feel bad for them Because could you imagine the Nuggets trading away Jokic? Could you imagine that?
What's the comparison? What do you think that is? Maybe that's hard to.
That's hard. It would be better to
Jokic
give
is
a
a little
comparison
older.
for NFL, trading away a Joe Burrow.
I see Joe Burrow.
It's Joe
trading
Burrow.
away Joe Burrow for
Yeah.
Fred Warner or something like that.
Maybe a skilled position.
Skill
I
position.
know we're saying defense wins championships, but I don't think that translates perfectly to.
It'd have to be
NFL.
an older
And I think an old
Jalen Ramsey, a Joe
Jalen-
Burrow for a Jalen Ramsey. I don't know. It could be
I think it's Burrow's a good
I think
like
Burrow's
Josh
Luka.
Allen. Yeah.
like Josh Allen for Jalen Ramsey because
Maybe.
Ramsey's still elite, but he's
Yeah.
old and he's not as good as he once was. He's not injury prone. Or Jair Alexander, he is injury prone. He's a really good corner when he's healthy. So you trade Burrow for Jair Alexander or something like that.
I think I'm more like, for me to compare the NBA trade to the NFL, you almost have to do offensive superstars, because defensive superstars they live in the shadow.
So
Yeah.
Allen for Rodgers,
Who for
I don't
who?
know, 'cause,
Josh Allen for Aaron Rodgers.
Give me a
I would
different
say,
position.
Joe Burrow for Matthew Stafford or something.
Nah, different position.
Gosh, all right, hold on.
All right.
We gotta go
getting-
back to
okay.
basketball.
I'm getting nitpicky.
To wrap up the
that
NBA,
trade happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
To wrap up the
yeah.
NBA, let's get into some predictions. So
Yes.
I want everyone's conference finals and then play it out to your championship. So I can start. I think in the East it's pretty chalk. I think we get Cavs Celtics. And I
Okay.
think the Celtics go back. I love Coach Mazzulla.
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
is he's one of my favorite coaches right now. And then in the West, obviously it's more difficult. I think the Thunder, they're just so good. I think Shea is so good. I think they'll definitely make it to conference finals. And I think Steph's going to make a run.
Dang it, dude. That's my hot take.
I think that
I think so too.
I think the Rockets are young. They're really good. Amen Thompson is awesome. But I think that the Warriors are going to make a run. I don't think they'll make it back, so I think it's going to be Celtics Thunder. And I think it goes Celtics in 6. I think Celtics go back to back.
Celtics all the
Celtics
way.
in 6.
Yeah.
Okay. I think, let's see, semifinals, I've got Cavs Pacers, and I've got Pistons Celtics
Yeah.
in the semifinals. Then I've got Celtics Pacers. Give me the Pacers over the Cavs.
Really?
Give me the Pacers over the
Really?
Cavs.
You must be from Indiana.
Give me
or
the
something.
Pacers. So I got Pacers Celtics in the Eastern Finals.
For sure.
Then in the Western semifinals, I've got Thunder Nuggets. Okay. And then I've got Lakers Rockets. I don't think the Warriors make a run. So I've got Lakers Rockets, Nuggets, Thunder. And then in the Western finals, I've got Thunder Lakers.
Really?
Yes. I think the Lakers make a run, dude.
You think they're deep enough? Role players win.
Yeah.
In the
Dude,
playoffs.
that was
Playoff Luka, dude. He's a dog.
I don't know if they have the depth.
I think they do.
really do just have Braun and Luka.
Yeah.
There's
No,
not and
like,
Reeves.
Austin Reeves
and
is really
Reeves.
good.
And Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, he's a good defensive guy. No, he is a good defensive
Yeah.
guy. I know
They've
you're
got-
trying to make a joke.
They've got Bronny James.
Not Bronny James.
That's true.
Don't
They don't have a
connect.
ton of depth, but I see them making a run, dude. Like I really do.
Who did Connect play for in college?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Dude,
okay.
all right.
That's
So
right. That's right.
to finish it off, I
Hold
do
on.
think that. Sorry.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm getting to the NBA.
Oh yeah,
finals
my
right
bad.
now.
My bad.
So I do think the Celtics beat the Pacers, sadly. Celtics.
No chance.
My heart
No
wants
chance.
to say it, dude.
Oh, gross.
Oh, jeez.
Just say it. Rip off the Band-Aid.
What is it like? Middle name Clive, going to the pool to take a dive. Lakers in 5. Give me the Lakers. Give me the Lakers in the finals. Lakers Celtics. No, I'm just kidding. I could see the Lakers beating OKC. OKC is dominant, so I'm going to put OKC over Celtics. I think it goes to 7, and I think OKC versus Celtics. Give me OKC in 5 games.
OKC in 5.
OKC in
wow.
5.
Okay.
I do love the Lakers in 5 meme. I get that on my Instagram all the
Dude,
time.
I love the Lakers in 5.
Lakers
All
in
the
5.
all the jokes, all the memes. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Mine's pretty similar. It's like a combination of the both of your guys's, because I've got. I do have the Bucks beating the Pacers first round.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know ball. This guy doesn't know
Yeah.
ball. It's okay. This
Sorry,
guy doesn't
man. The
know ball.
Giannis effect is real. And I just
Giannis is awesome, bro.
and Chris Middleton's back from his
67-43,
40 game
just
suspension.
so you know, at halftime. Pacers
It's game one, dude. It's game
yeah,
one.
Yeah, I'm a casual. He was suspended. What did he do?
He it was substance abuse, I think.
Oh, I did hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad too because he's a guy who's been with that program for so long. But anyways, good old Middleton.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got Cavs Bucks. I also have the Pistons over the Knicks. I don't think Jalen Brunson's coming back at 100%. He's had a wrist injury for a while. So I like the Pistons, man. They're a younger team. Cade Cunningham is blowing up this year. So
Yeah.
that's my guy. And then clearly the Celtics. Magic, I don't even know why they're
Dude,
barely
I do
in
love
there.
Paolo Banchero.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
I just don't like the Celtics, bro. But they're
and
so
Franz
good.
Wagner.
The
Yeah.
Celtics are so good, dude.
I know. So that's my 4. I have the Celtics Cavs. Man, that's not fun. I want to like make a change, but I just don't see it going any other way. I do have the Cavs though. I think that locker room is awesome. Like I love Donovan Mitchell, even though he kind of moved on from the Jazz. He did move on from the Jazz and kind of said some rude things about Utah. I'm going to forgive him and turn the other cheek. I think Cavs make it to the finals this
They
year.
also have the best bench in the league, dude.
Oh yeah.
They're like, pull any guy off the bench and he'll drop 15 points.
Yeah, and they're playing 2 bigs. They're playing Evan Mobley, and the center for the Cavs. I just lost his name. But anyways, they're playing 2 bigs, 2 7-footers, and people were like, "Is this gonna work?" And yeah, I mean it's working. Do you have his name? Did you look it up?
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen. Thank you. He's on my fantasy basketball
Yeah.
team too. I forgot his name. So Cavs in the finals. I'll be quick for the West Coast. I think I see. I want to go a little crazy. I think OKC is going to choke a little bit. They're still a young team. What happens with young teams? They get dismantled a little bit come playoffs. They get
You
to.
think Nuggets got him?
I think the Clippers are playing some of the best basketball.
Really?
Wow.
The Harden Kawhi duo.
Really?
They're playing phenomenal. They're in the last, I want to say last month of the season. And mind you, they are playing for their lives. They're playing for a playoff spot where other teams aren't as much, at least. But the Clippers they led the team in efficiency, in offensive and defensive efficiency. They're just playing really good, pure basketball. And James Harden and Kawhi Leonard have so much experience. They know how to handle these situations. So I like the Clippers upsetting OKC. I hate the Lakers so much as a Utah Jazz fan, and I have Kobe to blame for that. But I think the Warriors beat the Rockets. I also think that happens, but I do think the Lakers. I see Lakers Clippers, and I see a big old LA
Lakers,
showdown.
Clippers.
Yeah.
Maybe the Nuggets, Lakers, but I don't see the Clippers making it past the Nuggets and then OKC.
I'd love to be wrong. But it'd be fun to be right?
Yeah, true, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, switching gears, NBA heating up.
Talk some
I'm really
baseball.
excited. Yeah, let's talk some baseball. Let's talk some baseball.
Braves suck. Very sad.
1/10 of the way through the season. Braves do suck. Pirates also suck, unfortunately. Talk about bad owners, dude. The Pirates, oh my gosh. Like, the owners awful. No discounted seats. Like, 30% capacity at home games right now, except for Paul Skeens. So he's pitching today. So, like, people are, going to see Skeens pitch, but we don't spend money. I think if you look at, like, how much money baseball teams have spent, you have, like, the LA Dodgers at the top, like $320 million.
Oh,
or
the
something.
disparity is crazy.
Yeah. And then you have the Pirates who spent $75 million.
Yeah.
Compared to, like, LA. And we're one of the original teams. Like, but in the last 40 years, we've just been trash, and it's talk about ownership. But yes, baseball. It's so fun to watch, dude. I love baseball. Admittedly, this is my first real year of being like a baseball fan, but I'm loving it. Like it's great. I mean, there are just some teams where you watch them, like the Cubs. Cubs are awesome. The Padres look really good.
Yeah.
The A's, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the A's as well. I think they're looking great. But yeah, what do you see with your Braves?
Oh my gosh. It's just, I mean, Acuna's still hurt. Spencer Strider came back. Did not look great in his first start.
Yeah.
It's early.
It's early.
It's early. I'm not worried. We've been there before. We've had slow starts. We seem to do this every year. Not this bad. We need a new freaking hitting coach.
Yeah.
We came back against the Twins last night. That looked good. Scored 6 runs. But good gracious, we just can't hit the ball.
Yeah. Same with the Pirates. Like, defense is
brutal.
Okay, but we can't hit the ball. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's nuts. And that's like, you got to start. Well, with no salary cap in baseball, like, you have teams that pay for like Ohtani's, and then like Juan Soto's, but then you have teams that don't have anybody, like, that just don't hit, that bat at like a 0.2, maybe like 0.21 is just not hitting. So
Yeah.
Fair enough.
but we got the Houston Astros as well. Astros are a recent topic of conversation. Guys are pretty middle of the pack, 9 and 10.
Yeah. So here's my here's the conversation is I don't have a baseball team. I never really grew up caring for baseball, right? And I mean, now more than ever, I probably have to double down on a team and just choose, right? And I hate the bandwagon concept. So I'm not going to choose the Padres. They're leading the pack right now.
Padres, I think the Padres are the best team in baseball right now.
Who won the World
they're not
Series
better than
last
the
year?
Dodgers.
The Padres are better than the Dodgers right now.
I don't know, man.
Yes, they are.
I think they're one game ahead standings wise.
Yeah.
They're like
yeah.
they're 15-5. I think the Dodgers are 15-6. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've watched both of them this year, a couple games, and the Padres have something, dude. Like, they
do.
look great.
The Dodgers pitching is just so good.
It is really
Fair
good,
enough.
and the Dodgers have
Fair
really
enough.
good hitters.
They also have the most home runs in baseball.
Okay, but did you also see the Cubs game? Like, where was their pitching during Dodgers Cubs? They put in their. You saw Miguel Rojas.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. That was so funny. I think that's fun. Like, when you're a team, you can kind of laugh at yourself and be like, "We're already down 11 runs.
Let's get
Let's
some
throw
guys
in
in.
our shortstop."
Yeah.
And he
Oh,
was
really?
Yeah. he
Oh,
was
that's awesome.
And he was just like making fun of the pitching room. So he'd like wind up like the Japanese guy.
Shohei Ohtani.
No. They have a pitcher that's like
I tried.
insane.
It's my one baseball player I know.
I forget, but
Yeah.
crap. Hold on. But anyways, he would like wind up like the pitching room, and he would throw like Yamamoto. That's his name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Yamamoto, and he would like throw 45 miles an hour, just like lob it. And so it was actually funny because they brought him in, I think in the 7th or 8th inning.
So the game was over.
The game was over. It was 11-0
jeez.
when they brought him in, and he actually got like 3 outs. He didn't strike anybody out, but like they would hit it to the outfield and they would catch him out.
Yeah.
It was funny. Like, he was actually like kind of that first inning. He was kind of productive because like he didn't allow like hits.
Sure.
But
That's fun.
then they scored 5 runs on him. So he was just like lobbing out. Boom.
They were finally like, all right,
Yeah.
stop. We're not messing
So
around.
the Dodgers are really good. They have pitched. I really like Sasaki. I watched him pitch 5 innings in that game. He only let up 1 run. Like, he's really good. They've got a lot of Japanese guys that are really good.
They
on
love
that
the
team.
Japanese.
Starting to turn into a Japanese sport.
Yeah,
Man.
and they opened in Japan.
Yeah.
Against the Cubs actually, and they beat them.
Oh, that's
there.
right. Yeah.
Just like give them home field advantage. Give the Dodgers home field advantage. But I like Sasaki. Obviously, Yamamoto's really good. Other than that, though, I'm not super impressed with their pitching. But I'm not a hardcore Dodgers fan, so I don't watch all their games.
For sure.
But from what I've seen, like, they're good. But I think the Padres are a little bit better.
I guess we'll see if they can sustain it, right?
We'll see what they can do.
Yep.
Wow, they're 12-1 at home.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, that's fun.
Jeez.
So to that extent, like I'm just trying to. Us three had a conversation about what my Major League Baseball team should be.
Yes.
It would have been fun to have that recorded because we had some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You
it was
guys-
like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah. What were your guys' pitches again? What were your top team?
So I wanted you to be a Seattle Mariners fan.
Mariners fan.
They're a very like
yeah.
okay team. They're actually pretty good. I think they're a fun team, but they're the only team that have never been to a World Series. So it's like, you want to talk about the least bandwagon team you could join would be the Mariners.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously, like, I guess in terms of, as a fan, in terms of like accomplishments, they have a very high upside because they've never been to a World Series.
You can only go up.
But yeah, they're good. I think I said the Blue Jays. I like the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays are.
You like Vlad?
Yeah, I think like their pitching is really good this year.
I'm just not a big Canada guy, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. But anyways, so my pitch was the Mariners. I wanted you to be a Mariners fan.
I liked it. I actually, so yeah, what was yours, Luke?
Yeah, I said, what was it, the D-backs?
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah, it was the Diamondbacks, which are like the worst team in baseball.
They're okay.
They're 12-8.
They're net.
600 winning percentage. They have a
Oh.
plus 20 run differential.
My
They're
bad.
low
I was
in
thinking
the-
of the Rockies.
Yeah,
My
Rockies
my
bad.
Yeah, the Rockies are bad.
They're low in the
D-backs are
West,
good.
but
they just went to the World Series a few years ago.
Yeah, I'm looking at the AL West. Their score differential is wild. Plus 35, plus 10, plus 30, plus 20.
Jeez.
And then there's
Dang.
the Rockies at minus 51.
oh,
Holy crap.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the
Gotta
Rockies
love
are
it.
really bad.
Yeah.
You should just be a Rockies fan.
at this point,
I mean, don't go bandwagon.
yeah, my parameters were I wanted a team in the West that's not in California, and that was kind of it. And I'll let you guys roll with it. And I loved the conversation we had. At the time, I wanted to pick the Diamondbacks, but my issue is I kept saying the Razorbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kept saying
That's tough.
the Arkansas
true.
Razorbacks, and so I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Razorbacks. And you guys are like, you're an idiot, dude. You can't be a fan of the D-backs if you can't even say their name right. So I'm not an Arizona Diamondback fan. I'm not a Mariners fan. I actually decided that night to be a
You
Mariners
picked
fan.
Mariners.
But my sister's currently living in Houston. I was pretty anti-Texas teams, but she sent me an Astros hat almost days after we had that conversation, and it's a sign. I need an emotional connection to
Dude.
the team.
As long as you're not a Texans fan, we'll be okay.
I can't stand the Texans.
If you ever decide that, like, oh, my sister lived in Houston, I'll be a Texans fan, we're like, we can't
For
be
me to
friends
be a
anymore.
Texans
kill you.
fan, I have to
I'll
walk
kill
past.
I'd kill you with my bare hands. That's what I would do.
I'm actually a Titans, Jaguars, and Texans fan. I'm just
Yeah,
anti-Colts.
the Titans and Jags, I don't care about. We've smacked them
But
for
the
so long.
Texans have
The
beef.
Texans, bro.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only because CJ Stroud called Indy a weak city. Anyways, but yes, Astros, they're
It's
good
whatever. I don't even care if they're good. I have a
just gotta-
hat.
yeah,
I
you
own
just
some
gotta watch the
memorabilia.
games.
I'll watch some games, get some players' names down. I couldn't name one player on that team, but I'm a diehard Astros fan. So excited to see what
Diehard
the boys can
Astros
do this
fan.
year.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting, and then obviously upcoming, which we should also I think film part of. We have a 999 challenge coming up,
Yeah, that'll be
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
May 16th. But you're gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
gone.
Do it before May 16th.
We honestly should do it before May 16th.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyways, 999. Just to give a recap: 9 hot dogs, 9 non-alcoholic beers, in 9 innings of baseball. You cannot stock up. Like inning 1, you can't eat 3 hot dogs.
Oh,
What?
1 combo
That's
per inning.
crazy.
we better be like
Yeah, you gotta
cooking
be
them
on it.
constantly
Well,
though.
and that's
'cause I
the
don't want a
thing.
cold dog by the 9th inning.
Oh, they'll be
Inning.
like steamed the whole time. So.
All right.
It'll be,
They'll
but
be-
no, like,
they'll be
think,
steamed.
Yeah.
think about it. Like,
They'll be boiled. They'll just be
So-
sitting in boiling
but
water
it's
the whole
part
time.
of the- yeah, this is in hot dog water.
yeah.
That's part of the challenge. Like some innings are like 10 minutes long, some innings are 30 minutes long. So you got to pace yourself per inning. If I notice that
Yeah.
Yamamoto's striking out goons left and right, I'm going to start.
Got to start pounding that thing.
So, anyways, baseball this year, it's awesome. I'm really liking baseball. So
Yeah. Other stuff going on. Hockey playoffs coming up.
today,
Yeah.
It's a fun time of year. Like that first couple weeks of like NBA, NHL playoffs where you just have important games every single night.
yeah.
I'm not a big hockey guy, but I get into the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hockey season for me starts like
Yeah.
Starts
it really
today.
does.
Yeah.
It really does.
And
Yeah.
we also decided hockey teams. So I'm of course a Bruins fan.
yeah.
Yep. Boston Bruins.
I wonder what the NHL
respectable.
hockey playoff looks like.
I'm looking.
I actually don't know the layout.
First round schedule. We got the. Oh my gosh, bro! I don't know these. I don't know these teams. We got the WPG versus the STL. They're
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg versus
Winnipeg Jets, St. Louis
Jets.
Blues.
Yeah.
St. Louis Blues. Winnipeg. All right.
You don't even know
got-
the teams?
No, dude. I don't know anything
Jeez.
about hockey.
You've got the.
I'm American.
I thought it was Red Devils. Is it just Devils?
It's the
New
Devils.
Jersey Devils.
New Jersey
Okay.
Devils.
Dude, the Bruins aren't even in the playoffs.
No.
Oh my gosh.
you chose a team.
My team didn't make the playoffs.
I'm
The
a-
only
Hey.
good team, because I'm a Colts fan, Pirates fan, Bruins fan, and a Pacers fan. The only like silver lining this year has been one, like Notre Dame football and Purdue basketball, obviously.
For
but
sure.
like the Pacers.
Pacers are awesome, man.
Every week I watched the
Halliburton.
Colts game, I wanted to kill myself And now when I watch Pirates games, it's literally just the most boring 2 hours of my life. I watch other games because the Pirates games are so boring. And then Paul Skeens pitches.
Bubba Chandler. Just wait.
Bubba Chandler.
Bubba Chandler.
But dude, Paul Skeens plays. Anyways, bad time to be an Indiana sports fan. Unless you're a college guy. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Utah Jazz fan, and that's all I need to say.
And we already touched on, the Luka. Well, we talked about Luka trade. He had that interview. Pretty sad, actually. It was like, I don't know why he's talking like that.
Just feel sad. Like, just feel bad.
You could see Luka. He would have played his entire
stayed,
career in Dallas.
Well, he also would have saved $200 million from either income tax or having the Supermax. And so it's like,
True.
He might be a little sad about losing $200 million.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd be mad if I
a lot
lost
of money,
200 million. Yeah.
Speaking of mad, you also have the Aaron Rodgers Jets story where that is funny to be like the Jets and be like, yeah, pay for a ticket, come out here, let's have a conversation.
Love a chat.
30 seconds, you're like, nah, you're cut. Sorry, dude. So, anyways.
Did you hear Aaron Glenn? He didn't tell him straight up. So Aaron Rodgers met with Aaron Glenn. They were sitting in the room. Aaron Glenn walks back in, is like, yeah, you're done.
He brings in the GM.
Yeah, he brings in the GM to tell him.
I think Rodgers is talking to the GM, and then Glenn leans in and he's like, are you playing football or not? He's like, yeah, I'm playing football. All right, we're going in a different direction. That's so funny.
It's so good.
But if I'm Aaron Glenn, what do I care? I didn't coach him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we talked about this a little bit, but if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're like, that could have been a phone call. Could you imagine if Aaron Glenn cut Aaron Rodgers over the phone, what Rodgers would have done?
Yeah.
He would have defamed Aaron Glenn.
Just gone on McAfee and cried
He
for
would
an
have-
hour and a
Exactly.
half.
I like Rodgers. I think he's got a little bit of football left in him. I don't think he played bad last year, but his personality is insufferable.
Dude, Rodgers over Kirk Cousins. Stop shaking your head.
Creamy Kirk.
Creamy Kirk.
Kirk.
And what Rodgers is
Raj
doing,
dog.
he's waiting until after the draft to make his decision.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers could take.
They might take Jackson.
Dart.
They might
might
take
take
Jackson
Dart,
first
yeah.
round. But I think you still sign Rodgers.
I don't think he'll go.
I don't think he'll go. He doesn't want to go.
Oh, you know
But
what?
the
He
thing
did
is,
say,
like,
he
dude,
did
you're
say
41.
I will only play for a team that competes in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's like, you're 41. You just tore an ACL or
Achilles.
2
Yeah.
years ago. Like you're really so close-minded that if a team brought in that's speculation. I don't know. But like if that is the case where he's like, if you bring in a young quarterback, I'm not playing for you. That's insane. That's ridiculous. So I think his personality off the field has impacted his legacy
Yeah.
1,000 times more than his play with the Jets on the field.
I agree.
To be honest, I still kind of like it.
No.
Just do your thing, man. Just be
Well-
you.
well,
He's like
it's
the
like-
most himself than other people
He
that
just
are off
goes
the field.
on these
don't know.
interviews and says he'll sit there for 45 minutes and say nothing.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I like some of his takes. Some of his he just gets a little bit out there sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun. He's himself. He doesn't try to be anyone else on and off the camera.
Spencer loves ayahuasca.
He's an ayahuasca
Yes,
guy.
I'm a big ayahuasca guy. You put me in a dark room for
Yeah.
72 hours. I'm
Put me
like
in a-
living the best life.
That's what my dad used to do when I was misbehaving. Put me in a dark room for 2 weeks, and I didn't have ayahuasca.
Worked for Rodgers, so it'll work for
Yeah,
you.
it worked for me. I turned out okay.
Well,
no.
you are a
Great
Colts
episode. We'll circle back. Obviously, after the draft will be our next episode. A lot to talk about then,
Yep.
and then we'll be a few games into the NBA playoffs. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very excited.
sponsored by. Sorry.
I've got my take of the week.
Oh, take it away.
yeah.
I thought of it like 2 seconds ago, so it's unplanned. It's not that deep, but I think cake as a dessert is disgusting. I think it's so gross. I think it's so gross.
That's so weird, dude.
for-
Why would you even say that?
The staple of cake, like your standard cake, should be pretty good. But I think my standard cake, when it comes to my head, is it's dry and like maybe spongy, and
you
the
getting your cakes
frosting
from?
maybe redeems it. That's it. That's all it is.
Is
There
this guy
are.
out of his mind?
We're talking. You've got you're competing with brownies, chocolate chip cookies, ice cream. I mean, that's just surface level desserts we're talking about here. And you're trying to tell me that you take a cake for your birthday?
Yeah.
I would
dude.
rather have mediocre cake than a mediocre cookie.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know, dude. Cake is just, and maybe I just was.
You need a good cake. You need good frosting.
I had some kind of, I don't know. My whole life, I'm a cheesecake guy. I'll always have cheesecake on my birthday.
What?
To me, it's a pie.
This is such an insane take.
It's
Okay, top 3 desserts. Go.
top 3 desserts.
Yeah.
For me personally,
Just
right?
basic desserts, not niche. Just basic desserts.
Is cheesecake niche?
No.
No.
Cheesecake, dude. Number
Cheesecake's
one.
really good.
Ice cream, close number 2. Those two are like elite.
Wow.
And then for number 3, I think a warm chocolate chip cookie, dude. Those are my top
Might be
3.
the worst top 3 I've ever
Are
had.
you kidding me?
that's-
Cheesecake,
Ice cream out of 2?
I'll stand
You
on that
kidding me?
pedestal. I'll stand on that pedestal. I know. Ice cream should be like, I think if we were to pull the entire world, ice cream's number 1. I
Ice
know.
cream's 1.
I'm a cheesecake guy. It is what it is. I think they're close, but I love
What
cheesecake.
kind of cheesecake?
That's nuts.
This is where it gets worse. I
Oh my
like
gosh.
plain,
Oh, I like plain cheesecake.
plain New York style cheesecake.
No
man.
sauce?
No sauce.
Oh
Don't,
my
Don't
gosh.
distract from the cheesecake flavor. Give me your top 3.
Yeah, what are your
Give
top
me
3?
ice cream.
Give me ice cream.
Give me a great cupcake, and then give me cookies.
See, you're like,
Like a
cake's,
cupcake.
cake's not even in your top
It's
3.
a cupcake.
A cupcake's
cake.
just a small cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A great cupcake
Truth be told,
is really good.
I would take a great cake over a great cupcake because cupcakes are messy to eat. Cakes aren't. Anyways.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
They're both gross.
All right. My top 3 is pretty. So number 1, give me ice cream.
You have to.
You have to take ice cream because you can just pair it with anything
Yeah.
else.
That's
So versatile.
give
the
me
only
2.
way to make cake tolerable is
No.
with ice cream.
All right. Give me 2.
No.
Give me hot brownie.
Yeah, okay.
Because you put some ice cream on a
Yeah.
brownie, put some fudge on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You got me. Whoa, got me acting up. Sorry. Ice cream number 1, brownie number 2, number 3. This is gonna be weird, and I maybe don't have room to judge Spencer on this. Give me like an apple cobbler.
What the?
Give me a cobbler.
Yeah, that's good.
Give me a warm cobbler. Not a pie.
Give me peach
Give me a
cobbler.
peach cobbler.
Peach or
But
apple.
apple cobbler's
It's
good.
interchangeable. It's interchangeable for me. Peaches get a little too mushy, but they're sweeter, so it's interchangeable. But
Yeah.
like, I'm not talking pie. You know the
Oh.
cobbler crust with like the oats and the sugar. Oh my gosh, bro!
I do my 4th, just a
Honorable mention.
cinnamon rolls.
As a dessert.
Cinnamon
What is the
roll.
matter
As a
with you?
dessert?
What do you
This
mean
is
as
the
a
worst.
dessert?
No.
What is it if
What
it's
are you
not a
talking-
dessert?
That's not a dessert.
What is that, your
Everyone
lunch?
knows it's a
You're eating a
nutritious
cinnamon-
breakfast.
You're
Everyone
eating a
knows it's
cinnamon
a
roll for
breakfast
lunch?
food. Everyone
You're like,
knows it's a
man,
breakfast
if
food.
someone ate this for dessert, they'd be
What
insane.
have you ever been at a restaurant and the waiter comes by and says, "Would you like dessert?" And you're like, "Yeah, I want a cinnamon roll."
Yeah, that's the same as like being like, can I get a
Dude.
donut for dessert? No, it's a snack or a
Bro,
breakfast.
people outside the U.S. are gonna see this and be like, "How are you eating a donut for breakfast? It's so sweet and fatty, and it checks all the boxes of a
Here.
dessert. Sweet and high in sugar, high in fat. That's your dessert.
I-
That's every American dessert. Does cinnamon roll live up
Bro,
to that challenge?
I agree
Yes,
that it's
with
the-
a capital Y-E-S.
It's a terrible breakfast food. I would never eat a cinnamon roll for breakfast of not having something else with it.
For sure.
But it's a sweet treat more than it's a dessert.
but why?
Are
that's
you a woman calling it a sweet
Shut
treat?
your mouth.
freaking
mouth,
dude.
What's your honorable? All right, cupcake guy. What's your honorable mention? What's a cupcake guy?
Brownie.
All right, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
Are you driving around at like 10 p.m. and you're like, "I want a sweet
Can
treat"?
This guy drives a smart car, man.
want a
I'm telling you.
No, I don't. I drive a cool car.
I want a sweet treat.
Man, shut up, Luke. All
That's
right.
crazy to me that a cinnamon roll is in.
All right,
That's culture at that point. Sorry.
Honorable mention for me would be. I don't know, man.
Come on.
Brownie's a good answer though. I kind of slept on brownie because a warm brownie and a warm chocolate chip cookie.
100% slept on brownie.
Those are like
A warm brownie is
Equal.
twice as good as a warm chocolate chip cookie.
no.
Yes.
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 No.
Yes. Yes.
You're talking about chocolate chip cookie. It's handheld. You just eat it in your hand.
So is a brownie. What are you
not
talking
always.
about?
A warm brownie. Sometimes those get
I
gooey.
love eating that with a fork and knife.
I do too. I'm not saying that's bad, but like the fact that you're bashing on it,
It's crazy.
that's wild,
Anyways,
dude.
Spencer, that might have been the worst take ever.
I hate cake.
What was the original take? Oh,
Cake
you don't
is
like cake.
so gross.
It's crazy.
I've had very few good experiences with like a good cake. And it's
Ice cream
usually
cake?
like at that point, is it cake?
Yeah.
It's only redeemed. It's only
crazy.
redeemed. I'm talking like your
It's a casserole.
yeah, I don't call it that. That's gross.
What is a
What
casserole?
about a trifle?
I love trifle, dude.
I love trifle.
Dude, but not with jelly. It's got to have like brownie, Cool Whip,
Yeah.
Snickers.
What's is that what a trifle is? I
Yeah.
can't like
It's so good. Trifle
so good.
will literally make you act up, dude. It'll make you act
is
different.
Is trifle normally the pretzel crust, like the sugared pretzel crust with Jello? Are you? That's.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna look up. Okay, I'm way off.
Gelatin?
I'm way off. I'm way off. I am way off. I'm looking at a trifle. What I made up was real. Let me just figure out how to.
Oh, you're talking about the salted pretzel gelatin cake.
Yeah. I don't know what a trifle is. What? Ew. Why is that so funny?
Because I've never heard of that in my life.
Jello.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, it's called a pretzel. It's called a.
I'm not crazy.
Jello salad.
It's not called a salad.
It's called a
Are
Jello
you kidding me?
salad.
That's the most Utah thing I've ever heard.
I've never seen that in my life. Oh my gosh, a pretzel Jello salad. Yeah, that's what we're talking
You also like
I have
honorable
flakes on
mention.
potatoes?
Yeah, shut up,
Oh
dude.
my gosh.
That's crazy, dude.
That's like the crusty. That's I think that's a Utah thing. My Utah's showing right now.
But maybe that's insane.
I
Utah's
say
so
that
weird.
Utah does some weird things with Jello.
Honorable
Yeah,
mention.
they do.
Yeah,
They
Jello
and I
salad,
hate Jello.
gross.
I'm not like standing by that being one of my favorite desserts. Jello's nasty. Jello's weird, dude. Even when I'm old and like Jello. Ugh, yeah, but sorry, I thought a trifle was that. You said layers, and that's what I thought.
And you immediately went to pretzel Jello salad.
I have it every Thanksgiving, every Christmas. Like
I've never
it's
seen that.
iconic, and I get it from my family
Wow.
members who are not from Utah.
I have
So-
like the Jello salad where they like it's Jello, fruit, and Cool Whip.
Wait,
That's
can I ask
ambrosia.
you a
No,
question?
ambrosia's different. But yes,
What's up with the green Jello and carrots?
that's not
That's
a
a
thing.
Utah thing.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I'm born and raised in Utah. I lived in Texas for like a year of my life, and I lived in Spain for a couple years. I've never even seen that before.
I've
In any
heard that.
function,
That's a lot.
I've
Yeah,
never
it's
seen
real.
it.
It's real.
Lime Jello.
No wonder they think we're weird.
Carrots. Yeah.
I think Jello salad as a concept's disgusting.
Jello's
I don't like
nasty,
fruit
dude.
cocktail. Fruit cocktail's
it's-
bad.
Fruit cocktail's gross. If you have
The
like
texture
even-
is awful.
It's weird. And like one time, oh my gosh, I had like beef lo mein, and then I
What?
had
No.
this Jello salad, but
Oh,
there was like
okay.
a hard piece of Jello in there, and it like grossed me out. Next day, I got horrible food poisoning from the lo mein. But ever since then, I
You
can only
associated.
think about that hard piece of Jello. I've never been able
I'm
to
sorry.
eat
What's
Jell-O
a hard
salad
piece
again.
of Jello? Like a
No, it's
crunchy,
like
like
when
a.
you eat chicken, you get the or steak, and you get the tendon. You're
Yeah.
like, I can't eat it for another
But
like 2
Jello
weeks.
doesn't do that.
No,
It's
it normally doesn't.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it happened,
That's
and I was
wild.
like, "Oh, that's gross." Next day, violently ill, and I'm like, since then, I've never been able to look at Jello salad.
Wow.
Again. It's so bad.
Yeah. Jello, the texture
Terrible
is
food.
nasty.
That was funny. No, trifle's way different.
Trifle's good, man. There's no cake in that, right?
It depends. Like you can make brownie trifle or cake.
I'm gonna be
trifle.
honest. See, this if there's like a small layer of cake and it like got a lot of moisture from the whipped cream and the fruit.
Like Tres Leches cake. Is
Yeah,
really
like tres
good.
leches.
That's good.
That to me, they're probably like cousins
It's
to
almost
trifle,
too
right?
wet, though.
See, that's the only time I can. Maybe I just.
You've never done that before, brother.
Cake is dry. Cake is dry. The only time I've had good decent cake is when it's not dry.
All right. Well, anyways, that's a good place to wrap up.
Great
end.
podcasting.
That was a great. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Brought to you by Stadium
Brought to you
Media.
by Stadium Media.
Stadium
Yep.
Media, baby.